You're watching HelloNation.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HelloNation podcast, your voices of good news. We have Tim running the board, Carolee producing. I'm Prescott Rossi, and we are proud to be joined today as part of our Hello HVAC series, locally and nationally recognized HVAC expert Scott J. from Aire Serv of Branson and Springfield, Missouri. Scott, pleasure, and thank you for joining us here on the show today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course. And now, Scott, being the voice of good news, we like to start each episode by asking our guests to tell us a little about yourself and share some good news you may have recently experienced. So, Scott, with that, tell us a little more about yourself and some good news you've recently experienced.
So, been in the HVAC field since about 1998, so getting close to about 30 years now, here in just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, stopped raining here and sun's out and temperature's coming up and we're all getting busy around here.
Yeah, I love it. It's a busy time of year, especially as we get into late spring and early summer. So as part of our Hello HVAC series, we want to recognize you as an expert in the field and also hope that our viewers can gain some insight and knowledge from you, maybe dispel some misconceptions about HVAC systems and service technicians and so on. So with that said, when a homeowner's HVAC system isn't working, what's usually going through their mind and where do they tend to go wrong first?
Well, that really depends on the season. If it's summertime, they're hot. They're they're wondering how much it's going to cost and how long it's going to be out. Wintertime, same way, except for it's cold.
Yeah, and I know those summers and those winters in the Midwest, the variables can be pretty dramatic. How can someone start thinking about whether this is a repair situation or perhaps something more serious?
I would say about 90% of our calls are all pretty minor as far as on our end. Anytime homeowners air conditioner's out, it's not minor to them by no means. Usually, it's something, a capacitor, refrigerant's a little low, haven't cleaned their filters in a while and now it's froze up. We can get it thawed out pretty quick and things like that. So I guess just don't panic because most of the calls we see, it really isn't anything too major, and we can usually get them up same day.
That's a relief. Yeah, I know we're getting up into the upper 70s, into the 80s here consistently. Scott, from your experience, how does having a structured approach or a system in place help you guide homeowners more clearly through decisions like repair versus replacement?
The main thing about it is having steps that my technicians take each time they go out into a home. It really helps them as far as making sure that they catch everything, see everything. Our steps are designed to show the homeowner that we care about their home, that we care about them, and that we're professional and we're going to get the job done right, guaranteed.
And, for you yourself, with nearly 30 years of experience in the industry, being able to send your techs out, prepared and ready for any sort of situation they may come across. I mean, you yourself, I have to imagine there aren't many things you haven't seen in this business. What value is there in having so much experience and from a wide array of different scenarios and situations?
The more we look at them, as far as the systems go and things like that, you learn how each model sounds. There's a lot of things other than just if a part's broken. It's really, knowing the equipment and how it's supposed to operate and just being able to pick out the little things whenever they're not working or whenever they sound like they may be failing, to where you can check those out and maybe save somebody some money, time, and aggravation down the line.
I'm sure they greatly appreciate that. Now, what are the biggest warning signs that a system might be reaching the point where replacement makes more sense than repair?
Really, if you've spent quite a bit of money on a system, if it's out of warranty and you're starting to have to spend money each year on the system, it's like I tell our clients, we can fix anything. I mean, we've got some models out there that were that are 1965, 70s, things like that. they don't have to spend a lot on them. We go out and we check them and they're running just fine. But whenever you have to start spending money on a system consistently throughout the years, that's really when you want to start looking at replacing a system.
Yeah, and it's something, I think about, the home that I live in was built in the 1870s. So, I know our HVAC is all over the place. And I would imagine coming across some models and systems from the 60s probably presents some unique challenges. Is that part of maybe the appeal after, all these years in the business? You come across something like, oh, I haven't seen one of these in a long time, or this goes back to, my parents or their parents even. Do you get a kick out of that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we get, every once in a while we'll get a picture from one of our technicians. We have our own little chat text line and everything, and they'll pull up something that, just like the old cars and the old appliances and things like that, they had some art to them. And, so every once in a while we'll get one that's really cool looking that, we can post about and things like that. But as far as the inside workings of them, they're really easy to work on, which is one of the reasons why they last so long, is because they just have a few components in them, and everything is built so heavy duty. It's fun to see the evolution of things as the years progress.
I'm just curious, how much does what sort of weights are we talking about here for something that's 60,
yeah,
70 years old?
I was kind of wondering that too. I'm like, wait a minute.
How heavy are we talking?
Well, I mean, a compressor can be double the weight of what they are now.
Wow.
So weight wise, I couldn't really tell you. Your back's the one that tells you when something's heavy out in the field. So
well, it's got to also be size too.
Yes, they always seem to start out really big and then they work their way smaller, and then there's another change and they go really big again and then they work their way smaller. So right now we're in the smaller part of it, but I'm sure at some point in time we'll have the units that are standing 4.5 foot tall again, and you can't reach your arms around the front face of them.
Wait. So that's been a cyclical thing? Like it's gone from big to like smaller to big, back to smaller? When was the last time they were big then?
I would say whenever 410A first, which is the type of refrigerant that it uses, whenever it first came out, and they had some, throughout the years, the technology, they figure out how to make the compressors work more efficient, or they make the coils, they double stack the coils, do things like that. So then they shrink, and then they use that technology the next time to make a even higher efficiency equipment, and then it'll shrink. Again, that's just an efficiency code for us to know how much they cost to use as far as electricity. Kind of like on a water heater, you have the little energy efficiency sticker on the side of it that says that it'll cost this much to use this water heater.
That's why I love doing this show, because we get like the 101 level, and then we get the 500 level, like college course, like lessons about this stuff. I'm like, this is unbelievable.
Well, it is, and here's the thing: I nerd out on that stuff.
Yeah,
it's weird as it is. I love that.
That's Scott. That's awesome.
Well, we're talking to an expert, so
we
it makes
clearly
sense.
are. Now, Scott, when you're working with a homeowner, how do you walk them through that decision, when it comes to replacement versus repair, so that they feel confident in what they're choosing?
Honestly, we leave it completely in the client's hands. We're there to educate. We're there to say, hey, this is what's supposed to be going on. This is what's not happening in that process. And then our job is just to give the estimates, and give our opinion on those things from a professional standard. It's not just our opinion. It comes from the years that we spend in the trade. Unfortunately, we get into a lot of scenarios, especially this time of year, to where it was working fine last year, but now they try to kick it on this year, and there's something pretty major going on with it.
Tim, you had a question?
What is the typical life of an HVAC system, say, from the 80s? I don't know. It seems like a good time. And then how long does a warranty last on one of these? Now, I put one in my house, I want to say 15 years ago, and now I'm questioning a few things listening to this.
You're probably out of warranty.
I would imagine.
No, so warranties, the standard warranty right now on any piece of equipment that's produced by a premium manufacturer is usually a 10-year compressor, 10 years parts. That doesn't cover the labor, but it does cover the parts and things like that. The one thing that none of those do cover is refrigerant. So like if you get a leak in a coil, the coil would be covered, but the refrigerant going into that coil would not be. The life expectancy of a system, that kind of depends on where you live. If you live close to the ocean, life expectancy is a lot less because you've got salt water, you've got different, you got more heat, more humidity, different things like that. But the typical life expectancy of a heat pump is somewhere between 13 and 17 years of age, somewhere like that. And the life expectancy of an AC and a gas furnace type of a situation is usually around 20 to 21 years, something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm gonna start putting some money off to the side.
Yeah, that's usually a good idea.
I was gonna say, are there a lot of ocean situations that you come across in Branson and Springfield, Missouri?
No, there is not. But I will tell you that we do take trips down to the ocean, and
sure.
every once in a while. And the first thing I do is look at the air conditioning system and the places that we're staying at and things like that. So I do have experience with them. It's just more like the Holiday Inn experience instead of.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much fun is it going on vacation with Scott J when he gets into the hotel room and sees the unit and just goes, "No, look at this thing."
It happens all the time.
Oh, I'm sure.
All the time.
Communication and trust are important factors as well. What do you focus on to make sure people feel informed and confident when they're making these decisions?
Well, I mean, we just show them, again, we go back to the knowledge that we have. We show them, what the options are. And really, the trust we build with our clients is really what sets them at ease, because they know that whenever we tell them that, hey, it's time to start looking at replacing this, then they know that that's the case. That has a lot to do with, making sure that you're working with somebody that you trust and building that bond with a client and the client with a company, and then knowing that, we're looking out for their best interest.
Love it. Yeah. So what are some of the most common mistakes you see people make when dealing with HVAC issues like this?
The most common mistake is, well, it's been doing this for a little while, but now it just all of a sudden quit. Whenever you get when you know that there's a problem with it, go ahead and have somebody come out, because we can usually solve it, and it's an easier and cheaper fix than if you take and let that problem build over time.
I have a feeling that you all are gonna laugh at me.
Oh,
and
come on,
you're gonna
now.
go, oh gosh. But so here's the situation I was in. I'm the stupid homeowner that thinks I can do a lot, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I should have just called somebody, and then end up calling. So my HVAC system last year specifically, it was just not blowing cold air. Go in the basement, and it looks like somebody just took a hose and sprayed my ductwork and my unit. And so a quick Google search said, oh, just turn off your system for 20, like an hour, let it acclimate to like regular temperature, and then it should start. Something might be frozen, and just let it thaw out. Probably a stupid move by me, right?
Yeah.
What did I do there? Or what
So-
didn't? Yeah.
So if a unit's frozen, call somebody, because there's a problem. That type of problem is never going to go away on its own. Unfortunately, what usually happens is it'll freeze up, and then for one, it could take us longer to get it thawed out. For two, it can cause damage to your compressor and some of the outdoor components, because the way the system works is it changes from a gas to a liquid inside that coil, and if it changes too much and too fast, then you get liquid pumping directly back to your compressor, and it's not good on that. So it adds more wear and tear to your system. So now that 14-year-old system that you've got sitting there, you may have taken 6 months off of its life by doing that.
Whoops.
I told you were going to judge me.
Okay, so that's one attempt by a homeowner to fix things. But what are a few simple things homeowners can check or do before they call a professional?
I'm going to start taking notes. And go ahead.
Check your batteries and your thermostat. Make sure, that's the first thing. We get several calls a year where people say their air conditioner's not working, and then they call back in 20 or 30 minutes later and they said, I changed my batteries and it's working fine now. That's a really easy, good step. Second, change your filters. If you're using especially like HEPA filters or the pleated filters, a lot of times they say good for up to 90 days on them. That does not mean it's good for 90 days. It means it's good for up to 90 days. If you're living in the house full time, those need to be changed about once a month.
I did not know
that's the two easiest and simple steps to get longevity out of your system.
Yeah, I know in the 150-year-old building I live in, yeah, they need to be replaced pretty regularly. A couple more questions for you, Scott. One, why is it so important for homeowners to understand this decision before they're in an emergency situation when it comes to checking and making sure that they've covered their bases before they call a professional?
Well, the number one reason is because your HVAC system is the most expensive appliance in your house. So, I mean, the price just keeps going up on these things, and it's just the way the world is. Make sure that if somebody tells you that it's getting close to time and you respect them, and you trust them, to start putting a little money back. And try to get it done before it needs to be done. That way you can choose the time whenever you're down without air conditioning, instead of it being 4th of July weekend at 100 degrees outside.
Now, as your business has grown, Scott, has your approach to educating and guiding customers through these decisions changed at all?
I would say it's been more refined, but that's always been our practice. We've always tried to do our best by our clients, and to do that, you have to educate them. We've got better tools now than what we used to. With computers, people can look up things a little easier, and we can help guide them through that process and things like that. We've always tried to educate our homeowners, and so, not really a huge change, just sometimes in the way we go about that process.
Gotcha. Oh, man, this has been such a delight. Now I want to switch gears up a little bit. And we're here with Scott J. from Aire Serv of Springfield and Branson, Missouri. We've been talking a lot about HVAC systems, service technicians. Let's talk a little bit about Springfield and Branson. Let's do the other half of the title of the business. We're going to test your local knowledge in a little bit of a different way. This is Hello Hometown Trivia. I'm going to ask you a few fun questions about Branson and Springfield. We'll see how you do. No pressure, but as a local expert, expectations are high. Let's see you deliver here. Okay, so you can take your best guess, talk it out, go with your gut, whatever works best for you. Scott, are you ready?
All right.
All right, let's do it. So, okay, first trivia question for you. Branson is often called the live entertainment capital of the world. About how many theaters are in Branson?
I'm going to say probably around 45 or 50.
Right on the button. Around 50 theaters. There you go. If it's a morning game show whose name we won't say, closest without going over. Yeah, no, you did great there. All right, on to the second Hello Trivia question. What famous scenic highway runs through the Ozarks and is a popular drive near Branson?
I tell you what, that's a hard one because there's a lot of them. We've got a lot of national forests, things like that. The closest one to Branson, I would probably say, is the outer loop, and that's, I think it's called 465.
465 is the correct answer. Also,
Okay.
Highway 76 would have also been acceptable, or the Ozark Mountain High Road.
Yeah. That's 465 is the Ozark Mountain High Road. 76 is the one that runs right through the middle of town, so that's kind of a trick question because it depends on really what kind of scenery you want to look at, I guess. If you want to see the city side, 76. If you want to see the country,
we'll have to take that one up with the
Ozark
judges.
Mountain High Road.
Okay, on to the next one. Table Rock Lake is one of the most popular attractions in the Branson area. What activity is it best known for?
Fishing. 100% fishing. The best fishing in Missouri.
Do you fish?
No,
is that a leading question?
I don't fish.
Okay.
No, I do fish whenever I get time. So no, I don't fish.
Yeah, tell me about it. I haven't spent a lot of time in the Ozarks. I got to get out there into that part of Missouri and Arkansas as well. Okay, so we're halfway through Hello Trivia here. The next one, Springfield is home to what famous outdoor retailer's original flagship store? We kind of hinted at that with the last one. With the last
Bass
question.
Pro Shop.
There you go.
It was the original Bass Pro Shop, and just in case anybody wants to know a little more trivia about it, it actually started out in a Brown Derby in the back of Brown Derby liquor store.
Really?
Yes. His dad had a liquor store, and he started purchasing lures and stuff and put them in the back of that, and that's what it's grown into from, I think, about 120 square feet to
120,000 square feet.
120,000 buildings across the world. I don't know how many buildings, but part.
What is the name of the well-known cave attraction located in Springfield?
Fantastic Caverns.
Bullseye. Nailed it. Yeah. I would imagine it probably stays the same temperature year-round in there. In a cavern, right?
I think they advertise 66 degrees year-round.
Oh, not too shabby. I would imagine many a field trip back in the day in elementary school to the caverns. All righty, one last question here for Hello Trivia. Springfield is often referred to as the birthplace of what famous American route?
That's the easiest one of all. That's Route 66.
How far have you driven on it?
Well, it's hard to say because it changes from 66 to it'll hit an interstate for a while, and then you have to get off. So, I mean, I've definitely been through Oklahoma and through that area on it. I guess bucket list things is I want to start at one end and do the whole Route 66 on my bike. So. Oh,
that would be so cool.
Not your Ford Pinto?
No. Not my Ford Pinto. Now, if I get me a nice cherry 74 Gremlin, that might be a different story.
Oh, now we're talking. Yeah, it's Route 66, classic Americana. Where Tim and I are located. We Route 90. You can take that to Seattle. I don't know if it'd be quite as scenic as Route 66.
It's so boring.
It's just the worst.
So boring.
I tell you what, the prettiest road I've ever been on is Highway 1 out in California.
Oh, sure. Is that the Pacific Coast Highway, right?
Yeah. We took it all the way from where we started on 101 and then figured out that there was a 1. But from wherever we was at in Washington State and finally got onto it. But that was absolutely beautiful.
Oh, can imagine.
My wife and I did it from San Francisco. You are not getting the beauty of that route.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, that's cool.
Another bucket list, Prescott.
Yeah, we got to get out to the Ozarks. We got to get out to Springfield and Branson. Say hi to Scott, and also check out Route 66.
I want to go to the Ozarks. I want to go to the Ozarks so bad.
Yeah.
Well, you come down anytime. I'll show you around. I go different places and everything, but I've never found somewhere. There's a lot of places you go and you're like, oh, I could see myself living here. And then a week later, it's like, I really just want to go home. So I've never found anywhere that I'd rather be than right here in the Ozarks.
Love it. Yes, Scott, this has been an awesome chat. And if you, dear listener, are a homeowner trying to figure out what to do when your system isn't working, hopefully this conversation gave you a clearer path forward. And if you want to learn more or get help with your HVAC system, you can connect with Scott J. and the team at Aire Serv of Branson and Springfield for trusted professional guidance. Before we go, Scott, what is one thing you'd like our listeners to take from this conversation about HVAC systems and professional service technicians?
Know who you're working with. The reason being is because there's a lot of older companies out here that have been bought up by private equity and things like that, and those companies keep the same name, but they're run by corporate boards, things like that, to where they might not have your best interest at heart. They're looking more for the bottom line. Just make sure you know who the company that you're dealing with is and what their stance on things are.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, man, You heard it here first from a true expert, someone that knows the local area. I mean, a local expert. Thank you so much for joining us, Scott. And thank you, listeners. For Tim, for Carol Lee, I'm Prescott Rossi, signing off with Scott J. from Aire Serv of Branson and Springfield, Missouri. This has been the HelloNation podcast, where good news travels faster. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching HelloNation.